Hello, my name is Sharron. I received a living kidney donation from my sister. My kidney failure began when I was 31 years old. At that time, I was working as a school counselor in the local public school system. I noticed that I had fatigue a lot, but I thought that came with the job of working in a school. I had a daughter who was about 5 months at that time. And one day in late September, I woke up with swollen legs. Living without working kidneys meant that I was more tired. I used the bathroom more. I had foamy urine. I was very lethargic and just unable to function on some days. And I found myself sleeping a lot. And so I started dialysis in 2012. And boy, did my life change the day I walked into the facility. I was nervous. I wasn't sure of what to expect. But I walked in with my head held high, just knowing that I was going to get through this particular season in my life. And so that first treatment that I had, I made sure that I watched everything that happened, that I was aware of what was going on around me. But it was definitely surreal to be sitting in a dialysis chair looking around at all of the other warriors that were sitting there with me. When my doctor told me that a living kidney donor transplant was my best option, I felt a little nervous. I felt like it was going to be a while before I was able to find a living kidney donor. I actually felt like I was being cared for in the best way that he knew how to care for me. And so he was looking at the best option for me. I found it relatively easy talking about living donation with my family because we are a close knit family, and I'm referring to my immediate family. We are a close knit family. And so I talked to them about it. I didn't ask, but I just talked to them about what it meant to be a living donor and some of the things that were required to be tested. Even with my fears, I decided to try to find a living donor because that would be the best option for me as a young mom and the lifestyle that I wanted to live. When my sister first said that she would think about donating a kidney, I felt so excited. I was excited at the possibility of having my sister as my kidney donor. And so I felt excited and nervous at the same time and just was just so appreciative of her for stepping up and me not even really having to ask her. As soon as she found out what was going on, she asked what she could do to be tested. And so I felt really blessed. I was appreciative and I was just so excited about the possibilities ahead. On the day of the procedure, when I was being rolled into the operating room, I was thinking, wow, this is really, really happening. I was so excited. I was feeling relieved to some degree, anxious a little bit about what was going to happen and the road and the recovery ahead of us. But I was so excited to finally be on the operating table, getting ready to receive the gift of life from my own sister. When my sister and I arrived at the hospital before the surgery, we prayed together. We were both feeling anxious and just ready to see what this whole process was going to be like and what the recovery road ahead would be. After the surgery, I was excited to once again have a newfound energy. You don't really know how sick you are until you begin to feel better. And you're like, wow, I can't believe I was so tired and exhausted. You don't realize it because you're just trying to push through and survive from day to day. My recovery was seamless. I did have, of course, some things that I had to get used to, managing medications, ensuring that I scheduled things appropriately of when I should take the medications and making sure that my incision was healing properly and reporting things to my doctor that I didn't think were going well. But overall, my recovery was great. A life without dialysis meant that I was free from the machine. I started doing hemodialysis in the beginning, and then I later transitioned to doing peritoneal dialysis because I was still working full time. And again, I was a young mom. And so I wanted to have more time freedom, and doing peritoneal dialysis at night gave me that opportunity. The most noticeable difference after my transplant was definitely my energy. I definitely felt like I could go the distance much more than I could when I was on dialysis. And so I noticed that I was able to function better. I didn't get as tired as easily. And there was a new sense of hope, a new sense of renewal. It was like a rebirth. It has now been 7 years since I received a kidney from my sister, and I feel great. I feel extremely blessed that my transplant has lasted for the last 7 years, for one. And then I feel empowered that I'm able to go and help other families that are dealing with situations similar to ours. The relationship that I have with my sister today is wonderful. We are closer than ever. Every opportunity that we have to share our story, it just brings us closer and closer, and it empowers us both as well. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I can get through anything if I put my mind to it, if I have faith, if I persevere, and if I lean on those that are around me that are there to support me and lift me up when I don't feel like I can go anymore. Looking back, this is what I didn't expect. I didn't expect to continue to experience some of the same symptoms that I had while going through my kidney journey. You almost experience PTSD once you receive your transplant. The only thing that I regret is not sharing my story more during my journey. I feel that our stories are not just for us, but they're there to support and help other people. And while I've become a voice since my transplant, I wish that I had shared even more during the process of dialysis and then leading up to the road of transplant. What I learned from this entire journey is that in life, you will have trials and tribulations. And it is important to stay the course no matter what, to believe in your heart and to have faith that you can get through anything. And so I learned that it is important to surrender to your process, not only trusting the process that you're going to be okay, but also surrendering to the process and not resisting some of the things that come with the journey. My advice to others who need a kidney is to not give up. There will be times that you want to throw in the towel, that you're like, I'm never going to find a kidney donor. I'm never going to get through this. You're going to feel that way. But as long as you can put one foot in front of the other, some days it may be a toe, but my advice is to not give up. Don't give up on your hopes and dreams of receiving a kidney from a living donor or even from any donor. And so you just get up and make it a point each day, even if it's a toe, whatever it is, to keep going. I'm not going to give up, that I am going to stay the course and see this through. I would just like to say to my sister, my kidney donor, I am so proud of you. I am so honored to be your sister, and you are truly my hero and my angel. Man, to make the decision that you did to step up without me even having to ask you for a kidney is admirable, and you're a rare jewel on this earth. And I'm so grateful for your selflessness, for your sacrifice, and most importantly, for your love. I love you so much.